trying to kill my dad.
What's your name?
Xana.
Xana, do you live here?
He just said that Noah was in an accident.
Officer John O'Keefe, who was off duty, was found dead on Fairview Road yesterday morning.
She was stabbed at least 11 times in her head, her neck, and her throat.
Who does live here? Is your place?
Yeah. You're a normal kid who killed your parents.
We actually don't have, like, crosswalks.
Kitchen's a bloody mess. She's not breathing.
Why is the kitchen a bloody mess?
Mission to find the killer of our daughter.
4chan post is a little hard to read if you don't speak doofus.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The 4-day party turned into something awful.
There's been a major break in the Amber Spradlin murder cover-up.
The student president of the fraternity told us that they got word from National to instruct all of their members to delete all their social media.
No jury is going to convict me.
Chris Watts.
Was he a homosexual at 6? Did he make Daddy do it? Is it all his fault?
We know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
I tried my hardest to stop the bleeding.
Your son has been found in your basement.
Stabbed him lightly in the back.
And then this happened?
She had to remember the bad times.
I was worried he might have gotten hit by a plow.
You've never been in a fight?
No.
They cut him wide open. His whole stomach's open.
It's just the internet. Relax.
Do you know what tears look like?
I do not think that having an affair is a motive to murder someone.
Kara Reed is 1,000% guilty.
I didn't magically get powers to remember things from the past.
If you have anything that you want to tell us.
I do not believe any jury will ever convict Eric Menendez of first-degree murder.
Falling from a moving vehicle as a pedestrian, maybe being pushed out. It could also arise from an attack.
Are you the killer?
No.
That's a cop killer right there.
I was saving body parts such as skulls.
John's dead.
Top of his hair was scraped off his head.
And she said, Google hypothermia, Google how long it takes to die in the cold.
Pressy doesn't just take out a rifle in the courtroom and shoot him.
I hit him. Oh my God.
All of a sudden I'm kidnapped and something's gonna happen to me.
Constant phone calls.
Seriously, what do you want with me?
Did you ever say I hit him? I hit him.
I did not. I said I hit him.
It was several times.
Because he's dead.
Karen, we saw you outside of my sister's.
Did you murder your wife?
No, I did not. Couldn't leave the house without people taking pictures of us.
Just like a lot of harassment.
Well, then go to the cops, for Christ's sake.
Did you have anything to do with the death of Jean Bonnet?
No.
That's the most difficult question I've ever been asked.
Hi guys, welcome and happy Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. The Presidential Medal of Freedom was just given to Charlie Kirk. I think that was a little interesting. We can look at that real quick. So basically, it looks like Trump wasn't inciting anything, so that's good. He, I don't know. Erica spoke for a little while. Something about her bothers me. I don't know what it is. I think a lot of people feel it.
And then after that, it was back to work as usual. But last year, his one birthday wish was to see the Oregon Ducks play the Ohio State. And they won. Oregon won that night. And it was by far one of the most memorable nights of his birthday experience of his life until today. And so, honestly, President Trump, I have spent 7.5 years trying to find the perfect birthday gift for Charlie. And it's so difficult. And those of you that have spouses or loved ones, you know how difficult it is sometimes to buy a gift for someone that you love, because he wasn't a materialistic man, so that also did not help. But now I can say with confidence, Mr. President, that you have given him the best birthday gift he could ever have.
the best birthday gift we could ever
It's
have.
such an honor and the recognition of a life lived for defending freedom. And that's what Charlie fought for until his last breath.
I don't know. There's just something like so not right about any of this. I don't know. I don't know. Just everything just seems like it's an act, like it's staged. And, looking at everything that happened to Charlie Kirk, looking at it closely, the more information that comes out, the less everything makes sense. So I think a lot of people are kind of like, all right, nothing that they told us made any sense. And they have not clarified anything. Like, what the hell is going on? The weapon that they found in the woods, the 30-06, it is a hunting rifle. It is designed to take down deer. It's designed to go right through a deer and through multiple deers even. And they originally had told us that it was 30-06 because that was the weapon that they found. That was the inscribed casings. But a 30-06 can't just stop in your neck. It's just not possible. The wound that we saw was not big. It was not catastrophic. If it hit the right spot, if it did hit his spinal cord, of course, that is a deadly injury, but it was not from a large bullet, and it didn't exit. It didn't exit. If it was a 30-06, it would have, most 30-06, the exit is about like 4 inches. It's designed to do more damage on the way out, and we didn't see that. So now we're hearing more and more, and it's all hearsay. It's coming from Candace Owens and people from Turning Point USA, which I'm assuming that it's probably coming from maybe the same person or the same, whatever the connection is. But nothing smells right about this. Like, why are they the ones that have the information, first of all? And it's not even logical information. Like, first, Andrew Colvett said the bullet was found right beneath the skin, right? If it was 30-06, it's not possible. Even like a 9mm or something, you would think it's still not going to be right beneath the skin. It's going to be embedded somewhere. I mean, I think a 9mm, depending on the distance, could hit the spine and sit and not exit because it's smaller, but that would mean that all of the evidence that they arrested this kid with is not tied to the crime. And they still haven't told us anything. So everyone is like, what is going on? And they're not really saying anymore. They're not saying like, oh, it was a leftist radical anymore. So I just don't know what to make of it. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. There's like way too many secrets with this administration already, and they just started. I don't know. Even Tucker Carlson, who does not want to talk short. I think this is the video. Let's see if this is
Charlie Kirk.
I mean, there's a man in custody. I've really tried not to publicly speculate or say anything that I can't prove.
And you shouldn't. That's smart.
That said, they're going to need to do a real investigation on this. And here's all I'll say. If the FBI and the authorities in Utah end this investigation by declaring Tyler Robinson a lone gunman with no accomplices whatsoever, without having done, a truly exhaustive investigation, sort of like the one they did into January 6th.
Right.
That will not be adequate. That will not be acceptable. And I think that they will risk further fracturing the United States along the lines of people who believe the story or want to believe the story and those who, just don't find it an adequate explanation. So I hate even to say that could happen because, it's my country, my government. I want to trust the FBI. There's no reason to trust the FBI at all. At all. I mean, they've been caught acting in bad faith and conducting what I consider crimes. so many times, lying so many times, that I think it's, at this point, especially since my friend who was assassinated, I think it's fair to demand a real investigation with a lot of transparency. And if they say, oh, we can't say that because we don't want to prejudice the jury, or, you know, it's going to affect the prosecution, that's not a good answer. Tell me what happened. I'm particularly interested in, you know, of course, all the practical details. There's no videotape of this guy getting on the roof. There's no videotape of him bringing the gun on the roof. It's not clear he brought the gun off the roof. It's not in videotape anyway. So I'm interested in, like, how did he get away, for example? Who was this guy, Zin in the front row?
George Zinn, yeah. Why would anyone
What is
do
that? Is that connected? Like, tell me a story that makes sense. But what I'm most interested in is how a guy who was, by all appearances, a pretty normal kid, wound up murdering a stranger just a couple years later. Like, he was radicalized. Okay, walk me through that. Tell me exactly how that happened.
I'm agreeing with Tucker Carlson lately on certain things. Certain evidence is preserved for the trial. However, and you can compare it to the BK case, but in the BK case, we had his phone pings, we had his location, we had his car. We knew that, like, his car was caught on surveillance coming all the way from his apartment all the way in that direction. His phone shuts off. We don't have any of that in this case. Nothing. And the FBI was involved in that too. So I mean, if you want to compare apples to apples, no, they did not even prove that Tyler Robinson ever got out of his car. I mean, there's nothing there except that, oh, he confessed. Like, that's crazy. We need to, I mean, at the bare minimum, I mean, as soon as those text messages came out, that made everyone, even people that wanted to believe it, really take a step back, because that is not normal to put in a probable cause affidavit. Somewhat, but there should be a lot of corroborating evidence. Every case is different and they haven't completed discovery, but I mean, this kid allegedly climbed onto a roof, cameras fucking everywhere, and there's not a single video of him with the gun. Like, his DNA is on a gun, but obviously it's not possible that a hunting rifle, a 30-06, shot him in the neck. This evidence should be very simple. There's cameras everywhere. He was using his phone. They didn't say his phone was off, so his phone was on. His phone should be tracking his location. They should know exactly. I mean, that's the bare minimum. Bare minimum is that you can say he showed up at this time. He left his house at this time. He parked here. We saw him walk up here. And they don't have that. We're supposed to just agree that it looks like it could be this kid in this American flag shirt, but then it looks like a friggin' ninja on the roof, and witnesses are saying he was in tactical gear. We didn't see tactical gear. I mean, they are planning on executing this kid based on no evidence. I mean, we are seeing it all over the place. They are, you know, even Nancy Grace, Megan, like, all of them are just saying, like, oh, well, obviously he admitted it. Nobody believes the text messages. And then without that, there's no physical evidence. There's nothing. We know that gun wasn't used. Like, what are they trying to do here? It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. It's not about a jury deciding it. It is bare minimum for probable cause. It's a very extremely low threshold, and a place that is covered in cameras. Someone that used their own car and their own weapon, it should be very easy to find probable cause. You shouldn't have to make up text messages. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, in my opinion, I think that they jumped the gun and they just wanted to get someone into custody, and they moved too quickly, and now they don't want to have egg on their face. I just think that there's no, it just doesn't pass the smell test to anybody. anybody. It's not a normal case. Like, it doesn't matter what this case was. Any case like this, people, I mean, the only reason that anyone is supporting this case is because it's politicized. If this was a normal true crime case, 99% of people would be like, this is not right. The only reason there's any support whatsoever is because this is politicized. It's like the evidence is just, oh, like, where the fuck is it? Like, what is going on? I mean, Candace Owens. So her and Josh Hammer, I mean, I think this is a pretty interesting thing because I don't understand like what the hell is going on. Like, I don't know if she has beef with these people. She's trying to call them out. Like, if there really is some underlying thing, or if she really is trying to expose the truth, if she's trying to, you know, keep an engaged audience, which I absolutely think that might be, that is definitely part of it, where she's trying to keep an engaged audience, right? Like how Turtle Boy does, or how anybody does that's following a crime or conspiracy, where she's gonna, you know, give you tidbits and breadcrumbs and not lead you right to the point. I see that sometimes, and I can almost tell, like, as soon as her show starts, I can kind of tell, like, does she have anything today, or is this just going to be a bunch of like rumor gossip type stuff? But I do think that, you know, the bullet did not come from that weapon. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know what went on there. I do believe that it could have come from that position on the roof. I still believe that. I just think it was a different kind of weapon that I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know if that was him that jumped off the roof. I think, you know, again, it is not a small jump.
Yeah, that's really high.
Yeah, I mean, it's high, you know, like it's not a normal thing unless you were trained, unless you knew you could do it, where you would choose to do that, where you would choose to leap off a 14, 15-foot building. It's just, it's crazy. I think he's 5'10". He doesn't look very athletic. I'm 6 feet tall, and there's no way in hell I would risk jumping, especially right after committing a crime. I'm going to risk jumping off that and like messing up my ankle so I can't run away. No, he had stairs right on the other side that he could have walked down or ran down. That's just a big jump. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not a big conspiracy person. Neither am I. I'm into debunking conspiracies, and I just have not gotten anything to debunk yet. Like most of this stuff, I'm like debunking the narrative because the conspiracy is actually the narrative. Like, look how big that is. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy. Like, was that AI? Like, I just don't even know what the hell's going on. And in that video where he is jumping off the roof, there is nobody around. Like, everyone was just running for 3,000 people were just running for their lives when the bullet rang out. But then when we see him running across the roof and jumping down, there's like nobody around, which it doesn't make sense. It's like one courtyard away. He's just on the other side of the courtyard. So it's, I don't know what's going on. So the guy taking the camera down, I mean, I don't think that any of his security acted properly, whether it was they're sketchy or whether it was they are incompetent. But nothing about it looks normal. Nothing about this is normal. Like, there was a lot of security. He had a cop right above him, behind him. And it seems that the cop or campus security, whatever, must have turned around. And that must have been when the guy ran up and laid down on the roof and took the shot. The thing is, he ran up, and this is according to the official report. This is according to the eyewitness. He ran up, laid down, and almost immediately he like took the shot within 20 seconds. So as soon as that security guard turned around and walked away, he ran up, laid down, took the shot. I don't know. Would a normal person be able to like do that? Like get steady enough and to just take it and then run to the opposite end of the roof and jump off 15, 16 feet and then take the gun with you, but then leave the gun right where you go into the woods. Like it doesn't make any sense. And it's not the gun that matches anyway. So I don't think that gun that was found had anything to do with this crime. I think it was planted either purposely as a decoy or once they kind of zeroed in on this kid, I have no idea. I really have no idea. But it makes the most logical thing is that this kid was part of it. That weapon was there as a decoy because like why would you have the inscribed casings? The casing didn't pop out when he took the shot. So they would have never seen the inscriptions, right? If they never found the gun. So the gun seems to be purposely meant to be found either by the killers as a decoy or was it put there to justify an arrest of Tyler Robinson? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying that he couldn't have done it in the time frame. I'm just saying that the amount of unbelievable things that you have to believe that this was a lone gunman that just did it by himself, and it doesn't add up. It does not add up. Like it just does not. And I feel like they are putting stuff out to implicate him to, so that he doesn't have a fair trial. I mean, I'm not making any justifications. I'm not saying that if I don't have more evidence that suddenly I would be like, okay, now it makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that anything's right or wrong, but at this point in time, if anyone believes the narrative, like, you're not thinking through. Like, this does not add up. This is a 30-06. You cannot. It would have like taken his neck off. So I did look and from I think I might have a photograph of it, but from where they found the indents on the roof, I think he could have. It's like there was a visual, like you could see. I think it's possible. It's just, I mean, I think it's definitely possible to shoot him and to see from the roof. So per the tip I received about his limp, I would think that it would be easy to figure out, but then they deleted my TikTok account right after I made that video. So I mean, it seems like they don't want people finding out. Like I wasn't jumping any conclusions. I wasn't accusing anybody. But they don't want that. They don't want, I mean, I think that's what it was. I was getting like a lot of views on those videos on TikTok, the short ones, and people were like reaching out, people from that area to like correct, sometimes it was about the height or I don't know, not the Dunkin' Donuts, the Dairy Queen, because there was a rumor that the Dairy Queen was closed and torn down. Not true. There's a different one that was like closed or torn down. But yeah, I don't know what the hell the deal is. There's another Tyler Robinson too, and it's like the Tyler Robinson Foundation. This kid had cancer, and like, I don't know. I was gonna try to look at their birth dates or something. I'm just like, just nothing about this like makes any sense. And so I've been trying to like just figure out like, what are they covering up? Like, it might not be that they're covering up that somebody else did it. Maybe this kid did do it. Maybe it's just hard to understand. Like, if it was a lone shooter, he's gonna like put a different weapon down with inscribed casings with his fingerprints on it to like throw them off his trail. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So there's let me see if I have a video of it. There's pretty much stairs. Like there's nothing like blocking you from just getting over a railing and walking on the roof. Let me see if I can find it. But it's like nothing. It's just, you know how like the kids are standing on the walkways? There's nothing stopping you from just like going over the railing and getting onto like the roof itself, not the walkway that has like pebbles, but it's like the same height and everything. There's like nothing stopping you. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why is he risking breaking his leg or his neck or, that is a high ass roof unless you practice and but there's an Army ROTC right there that, I don't know, maybe they practice. It's just very odd. Like everything about this case is odd. It's just so sloppy. I think there was a bunch of I think there's decoys. I think that's what the problem is. And they, once they realized that this kid Tyler Robinson was also a decoy, they already had announced a few times that they got the person, and I think that they just didn't want to be embarrassed. But it's like, how, like, you can't do that. This is not like, this is real life. You can't be doing that. I think this might be it. Let's see. So there's a local guy that does, like, he's on the ground. There's been a lot of videos.
Embarrassing this is if Tyler was up there undressing. Like you
So
could
this
see
is
him
it.
undressing.
So see how like this is the walkway, and then like that where that camera thing is standing up, like you just hop over the little railing and then you're on the roof. But it's like this is opened to a whole nother building that has multiple floors. So if I back up, like this is the building. So like everyone in this building is just looking at him, just changing on the roof. And he's just running up across the roof and then laying down and shooting. Like, what? There's nothing blocking the view. Like this entire building is looking at him. It's crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. And there's stairs that just come up to this balcony too. Let me see if I can find one of those. So yeah, it's like a walkway, and then but that guy does do a lot of on the ground stuff. I think this might be something. So these are the stairs that this is going to go right up to the roof, up to that balcony, and then you hop the railing. So I think these are probably the stairs that he had to go up to get up there. So you walk around. It's just all out in the open. There's nothing hidden. And you get to the top, and this walkway, it ends right there where the red ends, and then that's the roof. You just hop over that little railing and go over there and shoot. Like, what? It's absolutely crazy. It doesn't make a lick of sense unless this whole walkway was shut down. But like everyone in the building behind it is just looking that way. Like it's just, I just don't think that it's like I just don't think it's possible that it's just some rando that, like, where was the gun? There's no gun in any of the photographs that we've seen on the kid. Nothing about this adds up. I just don't know what, like, it's just wide open. And then if we look at, so that's the roof. So that's the roof. It's not even really a roof. It's like a walkway, just like all the kids that were like interviewing when the shots rang out. They were standing on a roof like that too. Like I think this whole campus has that elevated walkway. I mean, I just can't believe that there's no accountability in these departments. I mean, I want to believe that I have to believe that there's someone that's going to be like, we have to tell the truth, right? At least one person that's going to make sure the truth gets out in the FBI, right? I hope. So look at this.
Charges are read, he doesn't react, and then when the judge says that concludes the charges or whatever, when he's done, when he's concluded.
So this guy, he's a behavior analyst. And so he noticed that, and I was completely manipulated by this. So he noticed that the syncing of the sound, so like when Tyler Robinson's being read the charges, I think ABC News or like the national media makes it appear that when they say, you shot Charlie Kirk, and he goes. But this guy found, like he fixed the, like he saw the local version, the Salt Lake City version, and the national version, and he found that it was off.
That's when we see the acknowledgement like this. So Tyler goes, good, okay, we're done, I get it, acknowledge. So I'm going to play them side by side. I'm going to show you this clip, and on the right, the little box, that's ABC News, and you'll even hear that the audio is synced. And on the left is the one from the news station from Salt Lake City. And look at when that nod hits. On ABC, it's an acknowledgement to the charge. On the Salt Lake City one, it's an acknowledgement to we've concluded.
Because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression, that concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson.
To clarify, in the beginning, they were both synced, and it seemed like the responses that he was giving were timed well with what was being said. And then at this moment, I realized that the clips were out of sync. So I'm watching one of them, and I'm watching him not react throughout and only react when it's done to acknowledge, okay, we're done. And that one, by the way, is on a network called KUTV2 News that's in Salt Lake City. But then on ABC News, one of the biggest news platforms of the country, I'm seeing this report that's been seen by tons of people out there. And when he's being told, when the judge is saying the motive for having done this, which is political expression, we're seeing an acknowledgement. And listen, you don't need to be a body language analyst to see that acknowledgement, right? The judge is saying that Tyler specifically chose Charlie Kirk because of his political beliefs. You're seeing the guy in that moment acknowledge it like this, the way he's acknowledged other things before. Seriously, what are we doing here?
It is. It's everything about this is crazy. I like that guy's vids too. And I originally saw another behavior analyst prior to this where he's like, oh, yep, look, he's acknowledging you shot Charlie Kirk. And I stopped thinking about this for a few days because that kind of put it in my head that he's proud that he did it. He's proud that he killed Charlie Kirk. It really fooled me. And, so I'm just like, why are they doing this? Why are they, do they not have the evidence? Are they just really trying to like screw this kid? So Josh Hammer, let's look at this. I don't know who this guy is ever. This is the first time I ever heard him, but I guess he's like a political person. But this was Josh Hammer, I guess, is one of the, I don't know if he works at Turning Point or whatever. I've never known him before this case, but he was a big player. He talked to Charlie Kirk about his stances the night before he went to the UVU campus. And they had a long conversation about what to say, what not to say, or whatever. A lot of them were arguing with him about his platform. And he kind of said, as we saw in his text messages 48 hours before, that he was having a moral dilemma and he needed to do some things. He needed to make sure, whatever. People were pulling out, donors were pulling out. So this guy, Josh Hammer, says that he talks to him the night before. I don't know what time zone the screenshot was from. I think there's a lot of discrepancy around, because it depends. It's going to show in my time, I think. But like there's a lot of discrepancy about what time this was. Some people say it was 1 a.m. the night before. I don't know if that matters. I don't know what time he talked to Charlie Kirk, but it's just a really odd thing to be posting the night before, right? Coincidence? And this is the same guy, the same group of people that have all been lying. They just got caught all lying, saying that Charlie Kirk said nothing about support for Israel. He felt the same way, and da 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 da. And it turned out that no, we saw those text messages. So I don't know. And Candace Owens yesterday, I think, was saying that they decided on July 18th to kill him. She knows this somehow. I don't know. I feel like I don't think when it comes to stuff like that Candace would make stuff up. I know that she twists things sometimes to make it more. She watches her wording kind of carefully, but I think that she is looking for the truth, but she's also trying to keep an engaged audience. So we just have to keep both of those things in mind. She might not be getting as much information, but I do think that she is. I mean, she did bring receipts on a few of these things. So this is his response to her. I just thought this was interesting.
You are a sick, twisted woman, Candace Owens. I sincerely hope your husband, George, and his esteemed family see you for what you are and get you the help that you so desperately need. I hope that Brigitte Macron bankrupts you with her defamation lawsuit. We are certainly already looking into legal action on our end as well. And you are just the worst of the worst. But I think it's worth just talking a little bit more about just how off the rails demonic this woman has become. Let's go ahead and watch a clip of Candace Owens talking about me on her show while I was offline celebrating the holiday of Sukkot earlier this week.
You have to be someone that is, or maybe rather someone that is possessed by something that is less than human, subhuman, to do that. There's no humanity in you. That is why I named Josh Hammer. I believe he is a deeply disturbed man. Filth. Okay? Absolute filth. I don't understand it. I can't comprehend it. Whatever that is that lives in him does not live in me. There's no truth in him. Obviously, there's no truth in Josh Hammer. I know we won't get answers from you, but let me promise you that if I get a text message to the effect that you were somehow involved in him feeling anxiety the day before, if you did something that gave him anxiety in that way, I will release it instantly. There will be no place that you can hide.
Filth.
Filth.
Subhuman. You should spend time with your family. You should observe the Sabbath, something else that Charlie Kirk would have urged you to do. In fact, he had a whole book set to be released posthumously this December about that topic. Not everything is an insane, elaborate conspiracy theory. A radical left-wing indoctrinated ex-Mormon who gets radicalized on campus, is in a romantic relationship with a transgender roommate, decides to equate speech with violence, as many in the academy teach, promulgate, and earnestly believe with every fiber of the being, and then decides to act out against transgender skeptical speech of Charlie Kirk with a horrific, irrevocable act of politically motivated violence.
I will just say that I don't trust that guy at all. I mean, I think that anyone that makes content, I think it is. I mean, some people do want the truth, though. But I think that, yes, Candace Owens needs to make money. Well, I don't know if she really does. Isn't her husband rich as hell? I don't know. Maybe she doesn't need to make money. I have seen that, and oh, it's a hallmark of the curse the witches sent. I don't think that. I mean, I do see his shirt jump up. His body really doesn't move a lot. That's the thing that is really confusing to me as well, is that he, if you think that the bullet going, I don't even know how fast, 3,000 pounds I don't know, but it hits his spine, you would think that there'd be a lot of impact, but he really did not move back really at all. Like there's like maybe like I don't know. It's very odd. It seems like it was a really small bullet, definitely not a 30-06. And his security run over and they're kind of passing things off. They don't look too upset. Everyone's kind of running around and filming. The guy's getting the cameras down. Everything just seems odd. I just don't know what the deal is or who. I mean, we're not gonna know, but it just seems that you have this kid, right? I mean, maybe he's involved to some degree. He didn't confess, so they wrote text messages. Like, that's weird. Why do you need a confession? You don't need a confession in a case like this. Like, there's cameras everywhere. Like, who shut the cameras off? Who deleted the CCTV footage if there's not footage everywhere? He didn't have a weapon in his pants. Like, we know that. Let's see if I can find one of those photographs of him. I mean, there's no weapon there. So how did the weapon get on the roof? There's just so many like missing pieces to this. Even if they were like, he parked here, he walked up, the phone data shows, he shut his phone off at this time. Like, I feel like that would be enough to help you be able to tie him to the person that's in the surveillance. But even the camera or the photographs that they showed were like the blurriest things possible. And it was only at the entrance of the school. There was nothing near where the shot rang out. Right. Cameras everywhere, but only shitty pics and vids. It does seem like they purposely wanted those blurry pictures. I mean, they could have showed the video. If he was gimping around, they could have showed his walk more, going up the stairs, because I'm sure that was a video, but instead they like put stills, and it's probably because he kept his head down. But I don't think it looks like him. Yes, there's a 4K TPUSA camera facing Charlie as well as behind him. They were filming in 4K, and why not release that footage? Why not release more footage just so that people stop asking questions? If it really is Tyler Robinson, I'm sure that we have footage that we can show that, yeah, okay, that's him. But they're not. So, and it's been a while. So are they done investigating? Like, they haven't made any statements at all, besides that he was going to look into all this other stuff. I just don't know. I don't know what he's talking about here, but let's see. Is this the other one? I mean, this whole thing to me just like makes me really leery of this whole scene of, and I don't talk about politics. That's why I don't talk about politics, because I know people are crazy. But this is like a whole new level of grossness. All these people are his friends, and then they throw this memorial for him where they act like they don't give a shit about him. They make t-shirts about him. Nothing about it makes sense. Is this a different one? This might be about
getting
demons.
to like a dangerous level of anger. I feel it anyway. I feel like I hate everyone. All these people, especially the ones who claim to represent me. They're just liars.
I know. I'm way more mad at Republicans than I am Democrats.
Oh, I agree with that completely.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking it was, but yeah, he's getting upset about First Amendment rights, I believe, in that clip. But yeah, First Amendment rights are up for grabs. There's surveillance now. I mean, I feel like I'm under surveillance because they deleted my TikTok account. And I'm like, I don't even cover politics. I don't even really talk about it. And I talk about, general historical things. But I don't talk about culture war stuff. I don't engage in any of that crap. But like looking at what is on TikTok, what is remaining on TikTok is people that are doing that culture war stuff. So if I'm the one that's saying, oh, let's like look at both sides and let's analyze what's going on, that's what they don't want. But they do want the two sides that are like going at each other about everything. Why would they want that? Why would they want that? Distraction. I don't know. So this is an interesting one. So this is the cop that was, I think it's campus security that's right behind Charlie Kirk.
Oh my goodness! The longest shot has won the Kentucky Derby!
No, this is not the one. That's someone else. But I think that, oh, here it is. I'm guessing that is the campus police, though, that's running through there. So they roped it off so that people couldn't stand directly behind him, which makes sense. But this is 12:22, right? And then this is 12:23. As soon as the shots ring out, he's not even there. It's just, I mean, it makes sense that he was looking over there. Whoever the shooter was saw him turn to walk away or something. And that's when they ran out to the corner of the roof and took the shot, I guess. But it's crazy. It's really crazy. Like the amount of risk that this person took. And if it was Tyler Robinson that he did all this without getting gunned down, how? There's not a single thing that like makes sense. There were drones everywhere. I mean, I don't know how I feel about, who knows what kind of new weapons they have. I mean, Trump said it. He gave Netanyahu all kinds of new weapons, even stuff that he didn't even know how it worked. So I'm like, oh, well, were they trying out something new? Maybe. I mean, it did go right in his neck and it didn't exit. I don't know. A lot of people said it didn't sound like a rifle. They heard something, but they didn't think it was a rifle until everyone started reacting. Probably the people up close that saw. But most people said they didn't think it sounded like a rifle. So I don't know. Oh, but this lady is actually kind of hilarious. I don't know where I saw this or why I saw it, but I just think it's funny. It has nothing to do with anything, but I don't know. I'm just going to show it to you because I think it's hilarious. She goes off.
You can fuck around and find out when I get off. Find out. Okay. You shut up. Come and make me shut up. All y'all white motherfuckers come and make me shut up. All y'all white motherfuckers. Yeah, because y'all fucking talking because he's a white motherfucker and I'm talking about a dog. If I don't want a dog to touch me, I don't have to let a dog touch me. If I don't want the dog to touch me, and man, you want to...
It's a really long video. I'm not going to show it, but yeah, I think it's kind of racist. I think it's to invoke, I don't know, like, I don't love that she was saying like, oh, you white mother effers. Like, I don't love it, but I also am not like offended by it. Like I don't know. Maybe some people are. I just think it's whatever. But I didn't plug this light in. Well, whoever did this, I don't think it is someone that's mentally ill, to be honest. I think this was a very planned out thing. I think in most cases it is someone mentally ill, whether it's left or right. I don't know that it makes a difference. I think people that are politically charged are politically charged. Like that guy, the guy in Butler, he had a history of being right wing prior to, and then in 2020 he kind of switched up and then was like really mad at Trump after that. That's what his like social media shows. So, and he was like in his room recording himself shooting something. And I think he was probably on a watch list. I think, I don't think Tyler was on a watch list. I think if he was, I think they would have got to him really quick. I don't think that Tyler fits the same mold as a lot of these other ones at all. I think they want him to, like how they're saying, like, I guess the parents did come forward too and say that he doesn't even care about guns. Tyler doesn't even care about guns. His younger brother, is the one that like really likes guns. He's the one that's in a lot of the family photos with guns. I don't know. I just can't even imagine. I'm just like thinking, there's no way in hell that was just a week of planning. Like, how do you even know you're going to be able to do that? How do you know that there wasn't going to be someone standing up there? How would you know that you're not just going to get gunned down immediately and everyone in the school behind you is going to not see you? I don't know. Like, none of it really makes sense at all. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really. To be able to take another person's life, whether for money, politics, or anything, something is wrong in the brain. Well, we go to war all the time. And I mean, I would never put myself in that situation, but I mean, a lot of killings happen, justified killings, right? Law enforcement. An untrained guy pulling off that shot. I mean, I think the shot is not that hard if you have a scope and you're used to the weapon, but the nerves, and he didn't even extract that casing to load another bullet. So it was just like one shot. He made it and knew that he made it and took off. Like, I don't know. Like in Butler, he shot multiple times and he shot people, killed people. Like, that is more realistic. That's what I would expect from a hopped up psychopath, right? This was just so like one and done. He's jumping off the roof. Like, it's not the same type of person. So I don't know what it means. I mean, I just think that, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that George Zinn guy was involved. I don't know. My inclination is that if Tyler Robinson is involved, if they can at least prove his involvement, then I would look at, they didn't find anything on his social media though. So where did that come from? Like, what does he do for work? Like, is there a group, whatever? They don't want us to know. I think that, like, if it is Tyler Robinson, if there is some involvement of him, I don't think it's alone, and they don't want us to know whatever it was. And like, maybe we never will. Maybe it was him and there was other people involved, but they don't want us to know who was behind it. That could be it. That's like one of, so I'm either that where he is involved, he was maybe a decoy, and there was a bunch of them doing things. I think Phil Lyman in an interview said that someone else said that they saw someone jump off the roof and get into a car with someone. There's also rumors that whoever the person that changed behind the house was with a girl, which that doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I would expect that maybe there was a bunch of decoys. That could explain a lot of why FBI stuff makes no sense. They were meant to find that weapon that didn't actually take the shot. It was supposed to, with the inscriptions on those casings, it's just memes. Like, and none of it means anything. And that Nick Fuentes came out and said someone's trying to frame the Groypers. I think he said that the first day, or tweeted the first day. The Groypers and Charlie Kirk didn't get along. He never admitted to anything. He never confessed. So I don't think he is purposely shouldering the blame. I think that, in my opinion, maybe the Dairy Queen picture circulated amongst law enforcement. That person in his family, Mike Mitchell, I think his name is, saw the picture, knew it was Tyler, but that was him at Dairy Queen. That was not necessarily him anywhere else. But the Dairy Queen picture, I think, looks like him. So from that picture, he's like, that's Tyler. And, then they had to tie him into the rest of it. And they did it through text messages, right? They said the text messages are what told them, oh, I had to do this and that and that. I don't know. I feel like there must be something with Tyler. They also, as a rumor, they didn't put it in any of the legal documents, but that Tyler at the dairy or around the Dairy Queen, he was throwing out clothes in a cemetery. Don't know if that's true. But if that was true, I can understand why they would think it was him, right? Like, well, who's going to take the shooter's clothes and do something with them? I don't think a cemetery is a good place to get rid of clothes, though. So that kind of makes me think that was another decoy action. If he's driving around the town, kept trying to go back into the campus, getting stopped by the police, and they didn't detain him or anything, like, I think that he was decoy. And at this point, they're just going to say, it's you. Because even if you read the 7 charges that he was charged with, one of them is like, you're putting people in danger, or it's not necessarily saying you committed the murder. It's saying you put kids and whatever in danger, and which still he could be guilty of that if he was a decoy, right? It doesn't mean that, that could be something that they can prove. They can prove that just by being the decoy and being a part of this thing, the jury could find him guilty of that one. But it's strange. I believe, planned it a week before. He believes he plans it a week before. There has to be footage of someone practicing jumping off that roof. I'm sorry. There's no way in hell that someone is just going to do that off the cuff, unless they're in the Army ROTC. But there are pictures of Tyler and his family. I think it was when they were visiting Uncle Mikey, which I think is maybe the Mike Mitchell that turned him in Salt Lake City. They all were like, I think he works for the U.S. attorney, some kind of, but then in another interview, someone said that he was a retired detective. So like, they're not clear on what this guy's role is. But when they went to visit Uncle Mikey, it was Army weapons. I don't know. So maybe Tyler does have some background. Like, who knows? They just don't want us to know. I think that he went to that school, Utah State. So Utah Valley University, that's where the shooting took place. He never went there. He never went to the school. He didn't know the school. It was 3 or 4 hours away. He went to Utah State University. That's where he got a full ride for 4 years. He's reading the acceptance letter or the scholarship letter. But the story is that he only went there. I don't know where this story came from. He only went there for 1 semester, and then he transferred to like some Dixie technical school or something. I think that's a lie. I think that they don't want people asking questions. And so like I'm not even seeking people out. Like, people are coming to me about it on TikTok. Not anymore because they got deleted. But if people wanted more information, which I'm sure there are reporters that will seek them out. They would go to that school they went to. I mean, I think they're probably trying to misdirect people. They're trying to misdirect people from the parents' house also by saying he lived somewhere else, even though all the neighbors say that he lived there. And then when they went to look at Lance Twiggs, you know, the furry, when they talked to all his neighbors, none of the neighbors knew who the hell he was. Like one person said they saw him one time and he was dressed all in black with a mask on and he was limping and making out with them. And they were talking about a doctor's appointment. Like it just doesn't sound right. Not true. So my understanding, probably wrong, was that the person who spoke with this family convinced him to hand himself and to be cleared as innocent so that he wasn't taken by force and family hurt. I mean, that is the alternative explanation. What they officially put out was that his parents identified him, reached out to the family friend, and then the family friend convinced him to turn himself in. They say the family friend is also his Boy Scout leader, also a youth pastor, also a retired detective, and also working for the U.S. Attorney's Office. So he's one of those things. They've said different things every single time. In my opinion, it would make more sense that someone saw the Dairy Queen picture, because that picture was never put out publicly. And behind the scenes, he reached out to the family and was like, all right, we know, like, this is Tyler. Confronted him. Tyler never admitted anything, but they say implied he did it or something. But he never confessed. So I don't know what that means. Does it mean that he was saying, well, if I don't know. But that to me says that he had some involvement and he didn't, you know, he must have had to admit like, oh yeah, I was down there. Maybe he was lying at first saying I wasn't in Orem at all. And then they brought up that picture and then he had to say, oh, well, yeah, I was there. And then, you know, they might have brought up another fact cornering him where he kind of said, well, I don't want to get shot in the street or something. And went into like kind of exonerate himself. I don't know if you're going to get exonerated if you're involved at all, but that's a realistic thing that may have happened. I just think the way that they pushed so hard for a confession, like it was like 4 a.m. or something. I believe it was 4 a.m. where they say he was taken in. But I think the locals say it was like 7 p.m. the night before. So they had all that time to, you know, try to like cultivate a story, try to get a story out of him. I don't know. I don't believe any of the text message confessions. So I don't know if someone took his phone and did that or what, or why they would do that. The reason why would be if this Uncle Mikey had some connection to the group, right? Then he would be like, all right, Tyler, well, you're on camera, so you need to go down for this. You need to like say that you did it because Uncle Mikey maybe is part of this group too, whatever it is, whether it's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir or whatever this is. But none of it adds up. They all seem super sketchy. And it might just be that they're trying to hide the group that he's connected to. That could be, and everything else could just be because of that, right? Yeah, those text messages, I believe the text messages are fake. I don't know if it's FBI created though. So I was looking at like the Discord message, the one where he like admits to his group. He's like, oh, I did it, guys, blah, blah, blah. That was at 9 p.m. I think the FBI didn't get there till, and it could be that I'm looking at a different time zone, maybe. But I don't think the FBI like really got to him until late night, like late at night. So that's why I'm not sure if the feds did it or if it was the local guys that did it or what the hell is going on. But if it's a local cover up, I would suspect that it has to do with whatever group all of them are a member of. Because why else would you want an innocent, or even if he was related, like some kind of involvement, why would you want him to confess? Unless you're trying to protect that group. Yeah, the way that those typed, it was just, I don't even think it's realistic. Oh, this guy actually had some good, what we're being lied to. Let's see what this guy has to say. I believe he had a good take.
Why did they destroy the crime scene? Welcome to part 3. It makes absolutely no sense for anybody to be at UVU destroying that crime scene. I was a cop for many, many years, and crime scene preservation was always the most important thing when something bad like this happens. Never in my life have I ever seen a crime scene torn down and rebuilt so fast. It does not make sense. America, I know I'm not alone when I say this whole entire case, every single thing from the time that gunshot went off, if there was even a gunshot, until now, something about this case is weird. Every single aspect of it. And I'm talking about the actual act itself, the people around Charlie right after it happened, the security guards, the lack of police, the oversight, tearing down the crime scene, the taking down of the cameras, taking of the SD cards, the security guards running into each other and fumbling all around like they've never done anything like this in their life. These guys are supposed to be experienced and trained, and they look like they didn't even go to the police academy. I don't know where these guys came from. I think Walmart security could have done a better job. Every single thing about this case, doctors' comments, the comments, especially from the Turning Point folks, and I don't even want to get into Erica right now because I'm going to tell you, that girl gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. You know, it literally went from feeling so bad for her, like I wanted to cry for her, to I can't stand to watch her now because something just feels so off about it. But this crime scene, guys, when a crime scene is there, this thing is kept. It's usually taped off with crime scene tape, and even somebody guards it because you don't want something to happen to it. They didn't even have a chance to go back the next day to look at anything.
Yeah. So I know the argument about him using the word vehicle. I mean, I just think that that's not that's nothing. The text messages just in general are terrible. But he does say vehicle. He says vehicle when he's referring to another person's vehicle, though. Like when he talks about his own car, he says my car. So like that's, and you would say vehicle if you didn't remember if it was an SUV or a truck or a car. You just say the other person's vehicle. So, I mean, in the text messages, he's calling his own vehicle the car. I think he would just say my car. But I don't think that the text messages are fake for many other reasons besides that. I don't think that's even, like, there's some crazy text in there. Yeah, Erica, I almost feel like Erica doesn't even know Charlie Kirk. Like when she's given the speeches, it's like the complaints about the first ones were like nothing personal. It was just all kind of, I don't know, there just wasn't a lot of personal stuff. And then the speech that she gave today, she included more personal stuff about his birthday, but it seems so fake. It seems like she didn't even know him. Like, were they just like fake married on Instagram for like whatever reason or something? Like, it just doesn't seem real. I don't know. Even like her, when she's like, oh, my daughter was like, oh. He did not write the texts. Like, please. It's not that he's a country bumpkin. It's nothing about that. It's that the texts are scripted. I know people want to believe the government, but like, come on. These texts are like the fakest thing I've ever seen. It's not that he doesn't use any punctuation. We've seen him in Discord, but it's not just that. It's the way that he's talking to a boyfriend and the boyfriend's not even responding. He's like, oh yeah, look at the note under the keyboard. And the boyfriend's like, what do you mean? Did you do it? And he's like, yes, I did. I am sorry. And then the boyfriend's not even like asking a million questions. He just says, why? And then he says, because he has so much hate. I was so sick of that hate. Like, if they were boyfriends, he would already know that he didn't like Charlie Kirk because he would have been ranting and raving about him all the time. He wouldn't ask why. He'd ask more like, well, how are you going to get away? Or what are you going to do? Or how'd you do it? You know, like, it's just the fakest thing. Like, you cannot believe those texts. Like, it's crazy to even like consider that those texts are real. I just think that the texts are just not real. I mean, I just think I just don't know. I've never seen someone try to fake text in a probable cause before, but he would have said what? Yeah, he would have responded like, what are you talking about? And what time of day are these texts even coming from? Like, wouldn't the boyfriend have been texting him all day? Like, where are you? Why aren't you home? We know that he didn't drive home till like 4 a.m. or something. Like, he's given the boyfriend or alleged boyfriend all these details, but the boyfriend's not even asking. He's like, oh, remember when I was inscribing those bullets? It's just a big meme. You know, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. See your bulge? But it's like, the boyfriend who he plays video games with all the time, they would know the meme. He would just say, it's the oh, whoa meme. That's it. That's what text messages are. It's not this big fucking story. And so, like, these texts are like how you would write a script for a movie because you need to give the audience a context. It's just like so fake. I think that Tyler is an odd character, but I don't think that he has to be like, oh, well, my dad is MAGA. Like, none of it's real. I just don't, I don't know what this kid did or what involvement he had, but those texts are not real. I don't even think he lived with the boyfriend. Like, the neighbors all say that he lived with the parents. Nobody at the boyfriend's house, none of the neighbors have ever seen him except for that one kid that was lying. He also said he was dressed in black with a mask on the one time he saw him 2 weeks ago. And at the same time, when he saw him for that 1 second as he drove by on his bike, he heard them talking about doctor's appointments, so he knew that he was trans. And he also knew they were boyfriends because they were making out while he was wearing all black and a mask. And he walked funny. Like, not a single neighbor saw Tyler living at this other residence. All of the neighbors at his parents' house are like, yeah, Tyler, I've known him since he was a kid. He's a great kid and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, that's why I'm like, none of it. I don't know who thought of this, but it's crazy. Well, depending on who's in on it, right? So locally or the feds. I don't think the feds, I don't know. I just don't think the feds are. I think the feds are confused as hell. I think that something locally, I think it's locally they figured out it was him or he was involved or something. And I think that they didn't get anything out of him. Like, they were with him for like hours before the FBI got there. And maybe that's when they came up with the text thing. Because if you remember, they didn't say anything about the boyfriend until I think the next day or something. I don't know. All the locals were saying like, Utah's corrupt. You don't even know, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I would expect that like so like if you think about Massachusetts is such a densely populated state and there's so many layers of police. It's hard to like do a cover up there. But in a more rural area, where there's few people in charge and everyone kind of has the same goals, I think it's easier. Yeah, I do think Tyler is at risk. I mean, I can't believe that I don't know. I see a lot of people questioning it. I don't see that they all are all in that he did it. I see that there's a split. Like, I don't know if this is a Kirk thing.
How's it going? So, the FBI is sloppy as fuck. Nobody is buying the Tyler Robinson story. So let's get this straight. He goes to the roof, shoots Charlie Kirk, then he changes his clothes. Well, he gets off the roof, goes home. Well, in the days that, 2 days after he went home, before he turned himself in, he changed back into the original clothes that he was in just to turn himself in. Nobody is buying this load of horse shit, and that's what it is. It's horse shit. This was an Israeli hit, and anybody with eyes can see it. Israel had everything to gain.
All right, I'm not playing that on my channel, but the sloppiness though is because they were led down the wrong path. So like this is the thing. So local does this like little cover up thing, right? So then at 5 o'clock, that's when Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, I think, got there. They do the walk from where he jumped off the roof to through the neighborhood, through where the weapon was found, but they're being led by those locals. They are giving one direction, and that's what they acted on. Like they probably took people's word for it too quickly. And at that point, so it was 5 o'clock, I think within an hour, like he's in custody on the other side of the state, and not officially in custody, but he's already meeting with that family friend and whatever they're telling him to do, whether they took his phone and try to like make up fake texts. Like, I don't freaking know. But I think that they wanted it for a narrative, but like that narrative has kind of faded away, which tells me that that's not going to be the narrative we hear when they do the preliminary hearing. It's going to be interesting. The evidence is missing. So like on what evidence? Like the evidence is missing. That's the problem. I mean, just to say that Charlie Kirk had things going on with his Jewish donors, or that, he was not threatening, but he was talking about the files that Trump didn't want anyone talking about. I mean, those could be motives, right? But the evidence that we've seen is that someone took him out cleanly with a gun that's completely different than the one that they found with the inscriptions. And Tyler Robinson, there's no way to tie him to that person on the roof that we see. I don't think it's going to come to light. So like I don't think the defense is fighting for him. So I think that what we saw, the defense filed a motion. I think it was yesterday, maybe it was Friday, but they filed a motion to ask that he wear civilian clothing and that he be present for every single hearing. And in that motion, they spent 21 pages of arguing about whether, in this case, it prejudices the jury when they see them in shackles, when they see them in jail clothes, it implies guilt, which it does. And that's why a lot of times we see people in civilian clothes, right? I don't think that's a hard thing to ask for, especially like they said he was like polite and cooperative and in jail, like he wasn't giving anyone a hard time, no aggression, whatever. But at the end of that motion, they attached a motion showing how Brian Koberger was granted the right to wear civilian clothes. And that was a different state. Like Idaho, Utah, different rules, different state. It is really concerning that the defense attorney would want to associate her innocent client with Brian Koberger, right? I think that, like, why the fuck would you put that in there? You know, he's someone that admitted guilt, admitted to stabbing people in their sleep. And, you know, the Menendez brothers, they wore clothes. Like, this isn't a new thing. So it's just really concerning to me that the defense attorney put Brian Koberger as like the example to like support her motion, because this is a common motion. Like almost every defense attorney is going to file this motion to try to get their client in civilian clothes. So there's no reason to cite Brian Koberger at all. It's a high profile case. I mean, yeah, maybe that's, but no, never. You would never want to associate your client with someone like Brian Koberger, ever. So I don't even think that the defense attorneys are really working for him at this point. So I don't think we're going to find out anything. I suspect this as well. But the Tyler stuff could be a distraction. That it could be that, yes, they made a deal with them to just go along with this for the moment. And, you know, we'll give you witness protection. We'll get you out of here. We'll get you a new identity down the road, maybe. Because we know that Lance Twiggs disappeared. Lance Twiggs cooperated. And I just don't understand any situation in the world where if they did live together, that both of them wouldn't be charged with something. I just can't. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So it does seem fake. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the Charlie Kirk thing seems fake too. Like the whole Charlie Kirk, like the shooting itself seems fake. Like her being in the casket the next day, like filming all that with her perfect nails and her perfect hair and her perfect makeup. It's weird. It's like they had to show him in the casket. But did he ever even have a funeral? He had a memorial service, but was he buried? Is there a burial location? Well, we don't know if he's disappeared. Like they don't know where he is. The neighbors don't know where he is. So he might just be in a safe house or something. They can for cost personally and lose their license to practice. Yes. Well, I mean, we know that people risk their license to practice. They risk their freedom to cover up stuff all the time. I mean, how many of the big orange ones lawyers have been to prison? All of them from the last time he was president. So I mean, it's not like people, you know, Pam Bonnie's in court in front of the oversight committee not telling the truth. Like, I think that there are people that will lie. I don't think everyone will. So like, I think that's the difference. Like, I always think that, you know, I interviewed with the FBI at one point and I didn't go down that route just because I had another job, and the interview process was like stretched out over a long period of time, and I had already gotten a job by the time I went to the next phase, so I didn't do it. But I wanted to do it because I believe in the truth, and I think that there's definitely people there that want to do it because they believe in the truth. So I think it's very hard for me to think that everyone is corrupt and everyone's lying. It always comes out, at least to some degree. Which two are reputable? Oh, the defense attorneys. Well, I don't know why they would use. you know, the entire motion, the reason that you want them in civilian clothes is because it gives a perception to the public and to the jury that they're guilty, right? What the fuck does citing Brian Koberger give a perception of to the public and to the jury? Like, that is the last person that you would want to quote or to include. So I just don't know. What is this one? Oh, this might be like Joe Rogan or someone.
Didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed
Oh my
Charlie
God.
Kirk.
Not watching that one either. I'm not saying this stuff. I think that guy's theory is that his mic blew up or something. I'm not saying that any of these things are not true for sure. I don't know that they are. I just think, I don't know. The screwdriver on the roof, that bothers me immensely. I mean, the screwdriver on the roof is really crazy to me because they said there's a screwdriver on the roof, but the first person that ran up on the roof, the campus security, did not see a screwdriver there. So when did they plant the screwdriver? I mean, that's what comes to mind. I don't know how many people were involved in the investigation, what was going on locally, but I think locally you might have a problem. But that screwdriver, I mean, I don't think you could put a 30-06 together with the screwdriver. Maybe you could just a scope you can put on, but the scope in the picture is not even put on correctly anyway, so he wouldn't even be able to make the shot with that rifle. The problem with, in general, this reality that we're living in right now is that, yes, we don't know what the truth is because we've been lied to by everyone up there right now. Like the files that they talked about for 10 years, suddenly it's a hoax. I mean, they're not telling the truth about anything right now. So, I mean, I just don't, it's a weird place to be in because typically you think that, you know, there's checks and balances in place and people can't just make up evidence, but when they're all kind of not telling the truth together in sync, it's you know, anything's possible. But I don't know. We'll see if anything else pops up. I mean, I think they have to make some kind of statement about this. I don't think they're gonna. They haven't said shit. So they didn't find anything else. There's no new information. Even just releasing more footage, like any of that. Imagine if this was all fake and like they were going to resurrect. I mean, I was thinking that, but if he doesn't get resurrected today, it's not happening. I was thinking, yeah, maybe they'll resurrect him on his birthday. And like, basically, if you don't believe it, they'll put you in jail. Like maybe that's what's going to happen. But there's only a few hours left in the day today. So I guess it's not going to happen. But you know, just from the way that his wife acted weird and she's plugging the business and talking about the business and, you know, immediately and then doing the casket thing. And I don't know. The whole thing is just bizarre, though, how no one really, I don't know, his memorial, like nobody really told the truth or like cared about him or like said, like, I do believe that he believed in free speech. I do think should be his legacy, right? That should be that he believed in free speech. He believed in, you know, your mind and debating things. I think that's fine. But I don't think that he was a super religious person like they're trying to make him out to be now. I think that's weird. Like he's like this new Christian martyr. Like that is just strange to me. Like I don't think that's true. they want it to be. But like Turning Point selling t-shirts saying the martyr's reign starts when he dies. And like, I think the wife, I don't know, one of them said the best thing that ever happened to Turning Point was that he was killed because they raised so much more money and got so many more memberships. That's weird. That is so weird. It's creepy as hell. And it seems like whatever, they took him out of the way so that they could take over his business and get all the donations that he was turning away because he didn't want to take up certain topics or say certain things. And I don't know if we would ever find out, because now Turning Point is doing like the second Super Bowl, which is, you know, a politically motivated thing. I don't think that Charlie Kirk would have done that if he was still alive, but them doing that is definitely gonna, you know, make Trump be like, oh, leave them alone. Don't look into them too much because they're helping us. They're on our side. I don't know. It just seems so sketchy. And like, would he be giving the Medal of Honor if they had found something? I mean, it doesn't change the fact of how he died, the Medal of Freedom, but like, I don't know. Would you be doing that with the wife? I don't know. But at the same time, like when JFK died, they like named all these streets and everything after him, and that's what they did instead of investigating his death. They and said, let's not investigate it. Let's just blame it on the lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald. And we'll just name a bunch of streets after him, and that's going to be his legacy, and that should be enough. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens next. And I don't know. I think Candace Owens is on a vacation for like a couple weeks. I think she might have been told to, you know, get out of here. So I probably shouldn't even be talking about this. I'm not blaming anyone though. So I have no idea what the hell is going on in all that drama. But it does appear that people knew. I mean, from immediately when I first saw the first video, I immediately thought that it was a hit. Like, I didn't think it was just crazy with a gun like in Butler. Because I just don't think that anyone acted right. Like, no one seemed too upset. People kind of running around, recording, but no one seemed frazzled. Like in a situation like that, you would be shaking, you'd be covered in blood, you'd be so freaked out. But like, people see him, like the guy like just starts recording on his Meta glasses, and then none of them seem that upset, that makes me think it's not real at all, because even if it was planned, like, I think people would still be upset, right? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But until next time, take care of yourselves, keep your mind open, and don't fall for the propaganda, because the propaganda is heavy on both sides. I just had a conversation today on TikTok about propaganda and how, you know, both narratives, both sides are using like conversation stopping arguments about everything. And that's the problem. But like, that's what the people in power like. It keeps us not focused on them. And one of them is Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is hateful. That's the left. Charlie Kirk is just spreading the gospel. That's the right. When neither one of those things are really true. I think both of them are a stretch, and both of them are conversation ending statements, right? And in that, it was a video on TikTok, and in the comment section, there were multiple people actually like literally repeating the conversation ending statements in the comments to each other. And it's like, You know, we're never going to figure out anything when people are so easy to just pick up whatever narrative they're given and to just run with it. I mean, people thinking that Charlie Kirk is like the next Jesus, like it's weird. But it also makes me think like how easy or like who was Jesus really? Because the first person that wrote anything down about him was like 80 years after his death. And they didn't have TV, they didn't have video cameras. I mean, I don't even know if they were recording history at the time. So it was just like word of mouth, people like talking 80 years later. Like Charlie Kirk turned into Jesus overnight. So, I mean, something to think about. But until next time, take care of yourself and each other.